Hey folks, how you doing? It's Richard here from Bikepacking Adventures. As you can see, I'm indoors. The weather outside is pretty miserable. I thought I'd take this opportunity to share with you all what my plans are for 2026. Bikepacking, Audax, ultra races. I've got lots in the calendar I'm excited to share with you. So let's dive straight in. So straight off the bat, right into Ride with GPS. You can see here the tracker event is my one big thing that I'm looking forward to this year. That takes place at the end of April. The race starts for me at midnight, 1st of May. It's a 560, or just underneath 560 kilometre ride around northern Spain, starting in Girona. 9,500 metres as it says on the corner of the screen here. And now I've got open next to it on the next tab, Badlands, which is the event that I did in 2025. In terms of the profile alone, the tracker here, we can see most, the first half is all the mountainous area, and the second half kind of levels out. There's some flats in there, but I say levels out. It's still going to be pretty hilly in that second half. I guess if we just drag this here, we can see that the first half is where most of the climbing is. There's still, 3,000 metres of climbing in that second half. Compared to that to Badlands, and the completely different. It's a different time of year as well. It was a lot hotter in August, and it's southern Spain as well. And we see there's not much flat going on in Badlands. It's pretty hilly throughout, with that middle part being the exception to the rule. So I'm really looking forward to that. End of April, beginning of May, another gravel adventure. As you can see, the route there heads out from Girona. It's pretty much a clockwise route. I've been watching a few videos online showing the action, like Josh Reed and Maddie McNutt. They've done the tracker adventure the last year or two, in the case of Josh Reed. So I'm really looking forward to that one. A little bit later on in the year, in August, is another event. This one's a road event. It's the Utrecht Ultra XL, 1,600 kilometres, 14,000 metres to climb in. Now this one is in my interested column. I've not signed up to it yet, but certainly hoping to do so. I'm pretty 99% there. Now another event I haven't opened the tab for because the tab was so slow. I don't want my computer to grind to halt. It's the Gralloch. Now, for those you don't know, that's another gravel adventure. It's a UCI sanctioned event. End of May is end of May. It's in May anyway. It takes place in the which forest is it? I can't remember. Anyway, it takes place in Scotland. That is again, that's probably about 80% whether it's going to happen or not. It's a long way to travel, but I have been meaning to go back to the Galloway Forest in Scotland. I've been meaning to go to Scotland for a while, so yeah, really looking forward to that. And then my next tabs open here is all about Audax. We'll go on to bikepacking trips as well, because I've got a number of those that are definitely happening, and ones that I need to fit in somewhere during the year. But we'll go into Audax now. But before we do, actually, I'm going to just talk about my relationship with Audax over the last few years, and it explains why many tabs have got open. I'm going to go through my ride history quickly with you guys from 2018 to 2026. So as you know, if you've been a long time viewer, I've been doing a lot more bikepacking off-road over the last few years, and that means juggling with my Audax career kind of thing. It's hard to squeeze it all in. As much as I like Audax, it's nice riding off-road, it's safe riding off-road, but I do like doing both of those things, and it's always a juggling act, squeezing them all in. But this year it's the 50th anniversary of Audax UK, and one of their goals is to, as an organisation, is to not only promote women in the world of Audax to get them involved a bit more. It's also encourage all riders to try and get 50 points this year, and I have achieved that over the last few years. But anyway, let's get into it. That's the goal for this year, is to try and get at least 50 points, if not more. So we're going to look into my Audax years. So we're going to jump into the first tab here, which is the second tab, I guess. It's his 2018 season. We can see this was my very first year in Audax. Got 26 points. There was 23 events in that year. 2019 was my biggest year, because obviously there's, well, not obviously, but there's Paris this year, and just did so much that year. As you can see, 107 points. But as we can see, in the intervening years, the points have been a lot going in this kind of downwards direction, really. Well, not just downwards direction, just up and down, not being kind of very consistent. This is the 2020 season. Obviously, we know what happened in 2020, and the bulk of those points, those 27 points, were doing lots of DIYs and my own rides by myself. And then in 2021, I started to recover a little bit. 31 points, doing a few more Audax events. The world was opening up, and I did a few more DIYs. And then it really took off in 2022. This was my transcontinental road race year, as well as my race around the Netherlands. I was putting a lot more training in on the road, so my points boosted up to 77 points that year. The following year, 2023, the Pan-Celtic race went on this year. 34 points, dropped it down a bit, less involved in Audax, really getting into off-road in the autumn. And since then, I've just been riding a lot more off-road. However, there's kind of a blip in 2024. I did a lot more Audax as well. You can see there, I did a 32 events. It was a really good year. But consistently through my Audax career, I've hit always on the super randomness series, the 200, the 300, the 400 and the 600 kilometre ride, and I've always done one of each. This year I actually did a 700 there, as you can see on the screen. And last year, a drop in Audax activity, 27.5 points, half, because they've started accepting 150 kilometre distances, and yeah, a considerable step down in the amount of Audax events. That's been from a number of things really that went on in last year. Did Badlands, did a lot more gravel, did all the cycling UK routes. I just did a lot more events off-road, and I did my Easter holiday trip with Tony. I went and did the March at Chapels trip with Brandon and AD. All fantastic stuff, really enjoyed it. I went on a cruise for about 10 days, which really ate into my ultra racing schedule. I jumped on different bikes on that trip whenever I could. Had day trips and things like that, so that all ate into my 2025 schedule. This year, so far, and just to explain how Audax seasons run. They run from, let me get this right, 1st of November to the 31st of October the following year. And already I've got 10.5 points, and as you can see on the screen here, these are all from doing Audax DIYs. So yeah, I'm already off to a great start. It's fantastic. So let's take a look at my events, Audax events that I'm going to be doing in 2026. The ones that I've entered, and there's a couple of maybes on here as well. There's actually 4 maybes on here. So the one at the top was a ride that I did yesterday. I've already submitted to it, so we can ignore that one. 21st of March, got the Meggy 200. Meggy, it's what we call Cleethorpes on here, Meggies. And it's the second year that Audax Club Lincolnshire have got together and reignited the Super Runner series, well, the Audax season in Lincolnshire. There's always been a gap in Eastern England, and Dean Pryor has ran successfully a number of events. Last year, 50, 100 and 150. This year sees the introduction of a 200 and a 300. Next year will be a complete series including the 400 and the 600. That's the grand plan. So I'm going to support my local organiser. I love riding around Lincolnshire and showcasing the area to you guys, so I've signed up to both the Meggie 200 and the Meggie 300. They both start in Cleethorpes. Both beer-boned events starting from Meridian Point, so we're looking forward to those. They're both in the spring. We can see later on in April, later on in the spring, we've got Durham and the Northumberland Redux, I think that's pronounced. That's starting from Darlington, that's as a maybe. Later on in spring, we've got May, the Full Monty 300, that's another maybe. Definites, though, are in June, the summertime, tour of the co-ops from Cainton, which is Lancashire. That's my definite 300 for this year. Another definite is this is not a tour, 400A. I think it's a 400B, it's the A route. This has elements of gravel in it, but it's mostly road, to be honest. That's a 400 kilometre distance in Llandudno Wells, probably pronouncing it wrong. And then a couple more later in the year as well. The 400 there is the 24 Garage People, also known as the 50 at 50 at 50. Pretty much guaranteed to be doing that one. It's one of Brandon Edgley's rides. Brandon, who rode the March of Castles ride last year. I hope you enjoyed watching that video. It's one of his Audax events, so likely to be doing that one. And then at the tail end of the summer is the Devilishly Elegant. That's my 600 from Bristol. And that's, interestingly, that says maybe, but that's going to be a definite. So I'm going to, once this video is done, I'm going to be signing that one later this afternoon. Get it in the calendar. Get it set. So that's my Audax 2026 season. As you can see, it's very busy, and there's so many other things that I need to squeeze in there as well. So we're going to jump into my calendar itself, which is in Notion, which mixes all the things that I want to, hope to do in 2026. The definites, the interested, and further down screen, lots of unscheduled stuff. We can see this blends, like I say, the Audax events as well as the races and the trips that I've got planned for later this year. Easter, in the first half of the Easter period, I'm going to do another bikepacking trip with my good friend Tony. That will be on the Friday and the Saturday, because that's all Tony can get off. So there'll be a part 2 for the rest of Sunday and the Monday, cramming in as much as I can during that period. We're planning to go down to Kings Lynn and ride elements of the Rebellion Way and the Wolf Way, just linking them up. That will be about 380 kilometres. I'm looking at that sort of figure. And as we scroll down, there's lots of events in here I've already spoken about. But there's a few interested here. As you can see, we've got the Gralock. It's either do the Gralock or the Tour Divide, which took, it's not the Tour Divide, it's the Tour Divide in the Peak District. It was an amazing event. I really loved it. Bit of camping, just a great route. But I've already done it, and I love to do different things. So will I do it? I don't know. Further on the list, I haven't spoken about it up to now, just because it wasn't open on the tab, really, to be honest. And that is the Great British Escapades on the 28th of May, the Thursday, the 28th of May. Now, I've done that twice now, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it again this year. I skipped last year, but there's not many events that I love doing it over and over again, but this is one of those. It's a mixed surface bikepacking adventure 480 kilometres, but it's an experience that I'm really looking forward to. Riding over the North and South Downs, of which I was there only 3 months ago, and I urge you to go watch that video. I'll pop it in the corner screen actually if you want to go watch that. It wasn't one of my most watched videos from last year, but to me it was just a nice getaway. But it was quite late in the season, so yeah, and it was quite wet as well. Anyway, looking further down, got some more interesting things. I've made notes that the Pan-Celtic short route is possibly maybe, and another one that caught my eye this year was the Nordic Chase Gravel. I think that might be already fully booked, that one, I don't know. Anyway, further down we've got various things on here, possibly maybes. I've done the North Yorkshire Moor 300 a couple of years now, so I may pass that one. I was watching a video the other day. I can't remember much of the video to be honest, but it's called the Peak 200, starting Sheffield. It looked quite interesting. You can ride that whenever you want, so may well do that. And then the next 7 entries down here I've had on the board since, well, all the way through 2025 and maybe 2024 as well. I did some routes like the race around Leicestershire, the race around East Yorkshire. Never did those, but sat on the system, waiting to do. I did the Yorkshire Dales 300 on a gravel bike a number of years ago now, maybe 2 years ago, and now I've got a mountain bike. I'd like to perhaps go back and do that one again. Transpennine Trail, similar sort of story really, but it's not really that similar because forgetting the mountain bike, I'd love to do that one again from end to end. And just to try and see if we can do it quicker, to be fair. We've got, I don't know why these are on here. I think it's kind of a prompt to remind me there is such a thing as a 700 kilometre Audax. You can do that distance and you get like, I think it's like 60, maybe about 12 hours extra. The jump from a 600 to a 700, it's half a day. And I've done those in the past where you go on those. You ride on I would ride on the Friday, camp up somewhere, have a proper night's sleep, ride all the way through Saturday, have a proper night's sleep on the Saturday night, and then finish it off on the Sunday. And you can, okay, I say a proper night's sleep, you're still quite close to the limit in terms of time, but I've done a couple of those in the past. So I think the intention was, when I wrote these, was I was going to do 3 of those in 1 year. Never did it. This one below it, I really need to mark that as interested really. I was watching a video earlier this year. I don't even know whose it was, but it might not even gone by that name, but the YC stands for Yorkshire Coast, and it's a ride which, interestingly, didn't start in Yorkshire. Maybe it went by a different name. In fact, I am actually thinking of a different route. I think I had Castles in it. Castles and Coast? Yeah, Castles and Coast. It started in Newcastle and followed that line all the way up to maybe, I'm inclined to say Berwick upon Tree, maybe the Scottish border, and then came back around again. It's part of the UK that I haven't visited yet, so I think that would be quite interesting to do. But I'm juggling with fitting all in, and then there's routes that I just love doing over and over again. So do a ditch one of those for doing the Yorkshire Coast, and I guess the King Alfred's Way, it could be a contender. I've done it a couple of times now. Do I really want to do it again this year? I can always do it next year or the year after that. You know, it's always going to be there. The Royal Children's Way is certainly a route that I'd love to do in the height of summer. Last year I did it in, I think it must have been October. It was pretty wet. The nights were shorter. It was, you know, when you do that kind of thing in the summer months, it's just a lot different experience. So perhaps I'd do that one in the summer. And then of course, finally, I've been drumming it into you guys to come and join me for a weekend of bikepacking the Lincolnshire Wolds. And I've been calling it the Lincolnshire Wolds 300. I've kind of come to realise 300 is a bit short for a bikepacking weekend. in a part of the world where it's not that hilly. Yes, I know I just said it's not that hilly, but it is for this part of the UK when people think it's quite flat. So I've crammed in lots of climbing. I've made it a little bit longer, which will fit that kind of figure. It fits neatly into a summer bikepacking weekend where the days are really, really long. You can go that little bit extra further. So as always, I'm going to drop a link down below if you want to sign up to that event with me. I've not decided when that's going to take place yet. I'm just letting you know that something's going to take place. I'll probably pin a date in April, mid-April. I want to ride it myself first. I need to ride it myself first because there's a few bits in there that are tracks that I've never ridden before. I'm sure they'll be fine. Obviously there's just that question mark there. I need to ride it, so I'm going to be riding that twice. I may possibly invite you to come and ride it with me, the Rookie Ride, or I might just reach out to people that I do know and just contact them directly and find out if they were interested in going on a bike packing trip with me. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. As we see, I've got loads of after work rides that I'm going to try and get more after work rides in. A combination of road and gravel. It starts in March and April. But amongst that, I've also got 5 gravel rides that I'm organising with Lindsay Roads Cycling Club. If you live nearby, feel free to go to the Lindsay Roads website. All the events should be up on there. Feel free to come and join me. I'm hoping they're going to be a success. They're going to start about 80 kilometres and get a little bit longer as the year progresses, maybe up to like 100, 120, that kind of thing. But I'm going to try and be a bit more actively involved with the club in 2026. So as you can see, like I said already, my calendar is looking very busy for this year, and I'm going to squeeze it all in. I'm not quite sure. I think I've often run my calendar from March to August, but obviously you've got September, October, potentially November as well. So I need to not be afraid of riding in the autumn so much. And I have ridden in the autumn so much, but sometimes I just think I don't plan that far ahead. I kind of do things spontaneously, but I'm just going to drag it into that period of the season, I think, the coming year. So I enjoyed sharing with you my itinerary for 2026. I'm hoping I can see some of you out on the roads and the trails, whether that's here in the UK or in Spain or in the continent, if I do end up doing the Utrecht Ultra XL, which like I said earlier, I'm 99% certain to sign up to that one. Right, comments, questions, do put those down below. Believe it or not, I do read all the comments and I'm trying to reply to every single one of those. So what's left for me to say is, let's hope 2026 turns out to be a good year for everyone. Right, I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.